Before the vast expanse of time began, before the heavens stretched out in all their grandeur, before the earth was formed, there was God. A presence so profound, so infinite, that it cannot be contained in human understanding. In the silence of eternity before creation began, God existed in a glory that surpasses the very bounds of space and time. This is not just a distant truth, but the foundation of all that is. God's glory was above the heavens, as Psalm 81 beautifully declares, "O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, who have set your glory above the heavens." Imagine this for a moment, a world completely formless, a universe yet untouched, and in the midst of this stillness, the Creator's voice resounds. It was not a random act, but a deliberate divine command that set the foundations of all life. With each word, the cosmos began to take shape, light cutting through the darkness, the sky dividing the waters, and the earth blossoming with life. God spoke, and it was. His first command, "Let there be light," transformed the emptiness, ushering in not just physical light, but the dawning of understanding, of revelation, of life itself. Light, in its most divine form, symbolizes knowledge, guidance, and the very presence of God, breaking through the shadow of chaos. It was more than a mere act of creation. It was the moment when God's eternal truth began to shine forth into the darkness, providing direction and purpose. As this light filled the void, it set into motion the unfolding story of the world, a story that is still being written in the hearts of those who seek to understand the mysteries of the universe. With the creation of light, God began to shape the world with purpose, dividing day from night, light from darkness, order from chaos. It is in this sacred act that we find the first lesson of creation, that in the midst of darkness, God's light always shines, bringing clarity, hope, and life. The darkness does not overcome the light. It is a constant reminder that no matter the trials we face, God's presence remains a guiding force, leading us through the night into the dawn of His purpose. This moment, this first divine command, invites us into the eternal rhythm of creation, a rhythm that continues in our lives today. It challenges us to reflect the light of God in our own world, to be bearers of His truth, love, and hope. Just as God spoke into the darkness, bringing forth light, we are called to speak life into the world around us, transforming the shadows into something beautiful, something filled with purpose. As we journey through the days of creation, we will see how each act of God's creative power unfolds not only the universe, but the divine design for life itself. This creation story is not just an ancient tale. It is a living, breathing truth that continues to shape the way we live, how we relate to one another, and how we understand the Creator who formed us in His image. The light that broke through the darkness in the beginning is still shining today, inviting us into a relationship with the One who is the source of all life. And as we continue, let us remember that the light of God's love is what illuminates our path, guiding us toward the fulfillment of His eternal plan. Before the foundation of the world, before the very heavens were stretched out, God existed in a glory beyond human comprehension. Psalm 81 declares, "O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, who have set your glory above the heavens." This is no mere poetic flourish, but a profound truth. God's presence dwells in a realm higher, grander, and more majestic than anything we know. This glory realm is not bound by time or space. It transcends the dimensions of our reality. Here, God's infinite power and holiness shine with an everlasting brilliance, a light so pure and intense that no mortal eye can behold it fully. To grasp this, imagine standing under a night sky glittering with countless stars. Each star is a tiny spark compared to the overwhelming radiance of God's glory above the heavens. This is not just a physical space, but a sacred dimension, a divine sanctuary where God's essence flourishes, untouched by the chaos or limitations of the created universe. This understanding invites humility. It reminds us that the Creator is not a distant or passive force, but an ever-present and sovereign King, whose glory is the source of all life and order. Recognizing God's glory above the heavens calls us to awe and reverence, shaping the way we view everything around us. Yet this glory is not meant to be an inaccessible mystery. The Scriptures reveal that God invites us to know Him, to walk in His light. As Psalm 91 speaks of the secret place of the Most High, it hints at an intimate relationship where God's protection and presence become our refuge. This paradox, that God is infinitely majestic yet deeply personal, forms the foundation of our faith. It teaches us that true strength and peace come from dwelling in His presence, trusting in the eternal God, whose glory is unshakable. From this place of unmatched glory, God began the wondrous act of creation. The universe itself came forth from His command, and the first word He spoke broke the silence of the void. Let there be light. This was more than a mere physical illumination. Light in the biblical narrative symbolizes life, knowledge, and the very presence of God piercing through darkness. Before this moment, all was formless, empty, and shrouded in darkness, a deep and impenetrable void. Consider the natural world. Light allows life to flourish. Plants grow, animals awaken, and the rhythm of day and night orchestrates the dance of life. In the same way, God's creation of light represents the introduction of order, clarity, and hope into the cosmos. This light separates day from night, good from chaos, setting the stage for all that would follow. It is the divine invitation into a world filled with purpose and meaning. In our own lives, light holds profound significance. It reveals paths when we are lost and brings warmth when we feel cold. Spiritually, it is the awakening of our hearts to truth, shining into the darkest corners of doubt and fear. Just as God's light illuminated the first day of creation, so too can His light illuminate our journey, guiding us toward hope and restoration. But light does not exist in isolation. It is defined in relationship to darkness. This duality reminds us that while life brings brilliance, challenges, and trials, darkness are real and often necessary for growth. The cycle of day and night mirrors the ebb and flow of human experience, encouraging patience and trust in God's sovereign timing. Following the creation of light, God shaped the heavens above by separating the waters beneath the sky from those above. This act on the second day introduced the firmament, what we know as the sky, establishing boundaries and structure within creation. Imagine the vastness of a clear blue sky stretched endlessly above, a canopy that both shelters and connects the earth below to the heavens beyond. This separation was no random act. It brought order out of chaos, establishing space for life to thrive. In ancient times, the cosmos was often perceived as a chaotic ocean without boundaries. God's sovereign command introduced harmony, defining distinct realms for waters and air. This celestial vault serves as a symbol of God's authority to bring structure and peace to the unruly forces of nature. In daily life, this reminds us of the importance of boundaries and order, not only in the natural world, but in our personal and spiritual lives. Without boundaries, chaos can easily overwhelm us. Yet, when God's order is embraced, there is freedom within structure. For example, just as the sky holds clouds and rain to nourish the earth, our lives flourish when grounded in God's principles and rhythm. With the creation of earth and vegetation on the third day, God's creative hand brought forth richness and abundance. Dry ground appeared, and lush greenery burst forth. Grasses, shrubs, trees, all bearing seeds and fruit. This wasn't just a physical transformation, but a profound declaration of life's purpose and vitality. Each plant, carefully designed, played a vital role in the ecosystem God was orchestrating. This flourishing earth reminds us of the interconnectedness of life. Just as plants rely on the soil, sunlight, and water, humans are also connected to the world around them and to one another. The careful provision of vegetation symbolizes God's generosity and care. In farming communities, for instance, the timely growth of crops reflects God's sustaining hand, teaching us patience and trust in His timing. Moreover, the earth's bounty serves as a metaphor for spiritual growth. Just as seeds grow into fruitful plants, our faith can develop into abundant life when nurtured in God's love. It challenges us to cultivate the soil of our hearts, allowing God's word to take root and bear fruit in compassion, wisdom, and service. As the fourth day dawned, God created the sun, moon, and stars, assigning them to govern day and night, seasons and years. These celestial bodies serve not only as sources of light, but also as divine markers of time. Their consistent cycles remind us of God's faithfulness and the reliability of His creation. The sun's warm light energizes life, while the moon's gentle glow comforts the night. Stars, countless and awe-inspiring, speak of God's infinite creativity and majesty. Ancient sailors relied on stars to navigate vast oceans, illustrating how God's creation provides guidance, even in the darkest moments. Understanding these celestial rhythms can inspire us to live in harmony with God's timing. Just as seasons bring cycles of planting and harvest, rest and renewal, our lives too follow divine rhythms. Ignoring these patterns often leads to exhaustion or frustration, while embracing them fosters peace and productivity. In reflecting on these wondrous acts, one lesson becomes clear. God's creation is not random, but purposeful. Each element, from the glory above the heavens to the light that separates day and night, from the firmament that structures the skies to the earth that bursts with life, reveals the heart of a creator who orders all things with love and wisdom. This deepens our understanding of the Creator not as a distant force, but as an intimate artist involved in every detail. It calls us to respond with reverence, stewardship, and trust, knowing that the same God who commands light and orders the heavens is present in our daily lives, guiding us toward His perfect plan. As we continue to explore the unfolding story of creation, we see a consistent theme of transformation. From void to vibrancy, from chaos to order, from darkness to light. It is a divine narrative inviting us not only to observe, but to participate, to live as reflections of God's glory in a world He lovingly crafted. This understanding naturally leads us into the next phase of creation, where the waters teem with life and the skies fill with winged creatures, each carrying the signature of God's boundless creativity and care. Here, the story expands from the vastness of cosmos to the delicate beauty of life, reminding us of the wonder and responsibility entrusted to all living beings. On the second day of creation, God's voice again commanded order to arise from the formless void. He separated the waters, creating a vast expanse known as the sky, a firmament that stretched endlessly above the earth. This was more than a simple act of division. It was the establishment of boundaries within creation, shaping the heavens and setting a stage for all that would follow. Imagine looking up into a bright blue sky. the canopy that shelters the earth below, offering space for clouds to drift and for birds to soar. This separation of waters above and below was critical. It brought harmony to what was once chaotic. In ancient understanding, the cosmos was viewed as a watery abyss, endless and indistinct. God's sovereign act of setting boundaries reminds us that creation is not random but intentional, with order and purpose. This divine order invites us to consider the importance of structure and limits in our own lives. Just as the sky holds the waters above in place, boundaries in our relationships, work, and faith provide safety and freedom for growth. The lesson here is clear. Boundaries are not constraints, but gifts that allow life to flourish within God's design. When we resist God's order, confusion and chaos creep in. When we embrace it, peace and clarity emerge. This truth is reflected in nature's rhythms. The sky's expanse contains storms and rain, essential for nourishing the land below. Similarly, in our daily walk, trusting God's guidance and the structure He provides brings refreshment and growth. Following this, on the third day, God continued His creative work by gathering the waters below the sky into seas, allowing dry ground to appear, land that would become the foundation of life. The earth then burst forth with vegetation, grasses, plants bearing seeds, and fruit-bearing trees, each according to its kind. This was a moment of vibrant life taking root in the barren world. The creation of vegetation represents more than just physical growth. It symbolizes God's provision and abundance. Every leaf and seed is a testament to God's meticulous care and creativity. From a practical perspective, vegetation sustains all terrestrial life, providing food, oxygen, and habitat. Spiritually, it reminds us of growth and fruitfulness, principles deeply woven throughout the Bible. Real-life examples show us how the cycles of planting and harvest depend on God's timing and blessing. Farmers know that without these rhythms, life cannot be sustained. Likewise, our spiritual lives require nurturing, patience, and obedience to God's seasons. The flourishing earth challenges us to reflect on whether we are growing in faith, bearing fruit in love and good deeds, or if we remain barren and unproductive. Another lesson is the interconnectedness of all creation. Just as plants depend on earth, water, and light, we depend on God and each other. The Earth's diverse ecosystem reflects a divine harmony we are called to protect. This calls us to stewardship, not only caring for the environment but cultivating our hearts to align with God's creative purpose. From the expanse of the sky to the richness of the earth, these days of creation reveal God's heart for order, beauty, and life. They teach us that God's design includes boundaries that foster growth and abundance, inviting us to trust in His providence and timing as we continue the journey through His magnificent work. On the fourth day, God's creative power extended beyond the earth to the vast heavens above. He spoke forth the creation of the sun, moon, and countless stars, celestial lights set in the sky to govern the day and the night, to mark sacred times, seasons, days, and years. These heavenly bodies were not simply sources of light. They were divine instruments of order, orchestrating the rhythm of life on earth. The sun, blazing with radiant warmth, governs the day, bringing light and energy essential for all living things. The moon, softer in its glow, presides over the night, guiding creatures and illuminating darkness with gentle grace. The stars, innumerable and dazzling, paint the canvas of the night sky, inspiring wonder and awe. Ancient travelers relied on these lights for guidance, and to this day, their steady presence reminds us of God's faithfulness and unchanging nature. This creation invites reflection on the importance of timing and seasons in our own lives. Just as the celestial bodies regulate the natural world, God's timing governs our growth, rest, and harvest. Ignoring these rhythms can lead to exhaustion or missed opportunities, but aligning with them fosters peace and purpose. In this, we learn that God's order is not restrictive, but liberating, inviting us to live in harmony with His perfect plan. Moving from the heavens to the living waters and skies, the fifth day reveals God's boundless creativity in filling the seas and air with life. From the majestic whales that roam the ocean depths to the myriad fish darting through the waters, from the soaring eagles to the delicate hummingbirds fluttering among the trees, every creature is crafted with intricate beauty and purpose. This vibrant abundance reflects God's desire for life to flourish in every corner of creation. Each species plays a vital role in the ecosystem, maintaining balance and enriching the world's tapestry. Consider the coral reefs teeming with diverse marine life, or forests alive with bird songs. Both are testimonies to the richness of God's handiwork. Spiritually, these creatures remind us of the joy and creativity inherent in God's nature. They also challenge us to honor and protect the life around us, recognizing it as a sacred trust. The call to be fruitful and multiply extends beyond humanity to all living beings, emphasizing the shared blessing of life. Through the fifth day, we see a God who delights in variety and life's complexity, inviting us to appreciate the wonders of the natural world and our responsibility to steward it with care and gratitude. On the sixth day, God's creative work reached its magnificent climax, with the formation of the land animals and, ultimately, humanity itself. From the majestic lion whose golden mane commands respect, to the swift cheetah that blends seamlessly into the savanna, and the wise elephant whose ancient eyes witness the passage of time, each creature was crafted according to its kind, reflecting the diversity and intentionality of God's design. These animals were not random accidents. They were purposeful creations woven into the tapestry of life, each fulfilling a unique role in the balance of the earth. But the crowning act of the sixth day was the creation of mankind. Unlike any other living being, humanity was made in the image and likeness of God, a profound statement that sets us apart with dignity, responsibility, and a divine purpose. To be created in God's image means more than physical form. It speaks to our capacity for reason, morality, creativity, and relationship. It calls us to reflect God's character in love, justice, and stewardship over the earth. This truth carries both privilege and weight. Being stewards of creation, humans are entrusted with caring for the world, nurturing life, and cultivating justice and mercy. Yet many often misunderstand this calling, mistaking dominion for domination or exploitation. The biblical vision invites us instead to embrace a humble leadership rooted in service and respect for all living things. In real life, this stewardship challenges us to make choices that honor God's creation, whether through environmental care, ethical living, or acts of kindness that restore brokenness. It reminds us that our daily decisions echo the divine mandate to rule over with wisdom and compassion. As the sixth day closed, God looked upon all He had made and declared it very good, signaling the perfection and harmony of creation before the fall. This declaration invites us to appreciate the original goodness woven into the fabric of the world, and to seek restoration where brokenness has taken root. The seventh day, then, stands apart as a day of divine rest and sanctification. God ceased His creative work not from fatigue, but as a celebration of completion and perfection. He blessed this day, making it holy, a sacred time set aside for rest, reflection, and communion with the Creator. This act models the importance of rest for humanity. In our busy lives, the rhythm of work and rest is essential for physical renewal and spiritual connection. The Sabbath invites us to pause, to recognize God's sovereignty, and to find peace in His presence. Modern studies echo this wisdom, showing how rest sustains mental health, creativity, and overall well-being. Beyond the physical, the Sabbath reminds us that life is not merely about labor, but about relationship with God, with others, and with creation itself. Thus, the seventh day completes the creation narrative, revealing a God who is both powerful and tender, who commands and cares, who calls us to participate in His work while inviting us to rest in His grace. This divine pattern of creation and rest sets a rhythm for our lives, encouraging us to live with purpose, balance, and reverence for the world God has entrusted to us. As we close this journey through the majestic story of creation, let us pause and reflect on the profound beauty and infinite wisdom woven into every detail. From the vast glory that existed before time began to the gentle rest on the seventh day, we witness a Creator who is deeply involved in the unfolding of His masterpiece, a world full of life, light, order, and purpose. This is not a distant myth, but a living truth, one that speaks to our very souls and invites us to find our place within the divine tapestry. The universe was not born of chance or chaos, but by the deliberate and loving will of God, whose glory shines above the heavens and whose voice calls forth life from the void. Every star that sparkles in the night sky, every blade of grass that bends in the wind, and every heartbeat in the chest of humanity is a testament to the Creator's craftsmanship. In the face of such wonder, we cannot help but be humbled, inspired, and drawn into a deeper understanding of the sacredness of all that surrounds us. This story challenges us to see beyond the surface of our busy lives, beyond the fleeting distractions, and to recognize the eternal rhythms set by the Creator. The pattern of light and darkness, work and rest, creation and reflection, all serve as reminders that life is a gift meant to be lived with intention and gratitude. To embrace this divine rhythm is to invite peace into the chaos, purpose into the mundane, and hope into the shadows. We are called not merely to admire creation from afar, but to engage with it, to be stewards of this magnificent world entrusted to us. As bearers of God's image, our lives hold a sacred responsibility to nurture, protect, and restore the beauty that reflects our Maker's heart. Each choice we make, each act of kindness and care, echoes in the eternal halls of creation, shaping not only our world, but our souls. In a world often marked by uncertainty and change, the unchanging nature of God's creative work offers a solid foundation. It is a beacon of hope, reminding us that no matter the storms we face, the Creator who formed the heavens and the earth is near, working all things for good. His glory, though hidden to the eye, fills every corner of existence and invites us to rest in His sovereign love. Let this story inspire you to see the sacred in the ordinary, the eternal in the everyday. Let it awaken a passion to live in harmony with God's design, to seek His presence, and to honor the gift of life with reverence and joy. For when we do, we participate in the ongoing story of creation, becoming living reflections of the glory that dwells above the heavens. If this journey through the wonders of creation has touched your heart, deepen your walk by joining this community, where curiosity meets faith and stories bring us closer to the divine. Like this video to support the sharing of these timeless truths, and subscribe for more journeys into the mysteries and marvels of God's glorious work. Together, let us explore, learn, and grow, shining light into the world as reflections of the Creator's boundless love. May the Creator's peace be with you, and may your life be a testament to His glory in all that you do.